18 points each. Waterford won the replay. Will it go to that distance, or will it all be settled here today in Croke Park? Already changes. I can see that Jack Kennedy has moved to midfield with Michael Brick Walsh. Owen Kelly has gone to the left half-forward position, right half-forward position, in fact. Here's Paul Flynn. He starts at number 12, operating at number 12, dispossessed. As Jerry O'Connor comes away, looking for John Gardner, perhaps, under pressure, giving the ball away for Stephen Malumphey. Perhaps also the first score on its way. Donald Cusick gets a touch, but it sneaks over the crossbar. After 23 seconds of play, it's Waterford 1, Cork no score.
Yeah, I think this is the most improved hurler in the championship this year. You know, having a huge year for Waterford, and a player maybe not that well known until this year, but he's having a big mark in the championship.
Thankfully, glorious sunshine, blue skies here in the capital, making it an ideal day for the game of hurling as Sanogo Halpine swings this one in, but it's inaccurate, I'm afraid, in his perspective, to the right and wide. Hurler of the Year 2004 has just scored 1 point in the championship so far. Here's a man who won an All-Ireland back in '66, the Cork coach, Gerald McCarthy, looking on anxiously. Once, of course, coached Waterford. He started the process that Justin McCarthy has certainly built upon. Nice pickup by Ben O'Connor. Leeton Chandrum well represented here in Croke Park. The running off the ball by Timmy McCarthy is impressive, survives the challenge. This is McCarthy going through. Lovely little hook there by James Murray to pass the ball out to the wing, but it's Ben O'Connor once more. Here's the Cork captain for the day, Joe Dean. Uses the short grip, sends it high and sends it over the bar. In Croke Park at the moment, the story is number 15, Joe Dean, has a point. Number 15, Stephen Malumphey of Waterford, has a point. It's 11.
Yeah, great score by Joe, and both teams have started well. They looked sharp, looked relaxed, and first touch very good, and you know, augured well for a great game.
Puck out by Clinton Hennessy. Battle between Malumphey, who's operating at left half forward, marking John Gardner, and vice versa. Paul Flynn around the middle of the field. Rather unusual not to see him at the edge of the square. Big Dan waits for it, knocks it down for John Milan. Doesn't quite pick it up the first time. Here's Shane O'Neill from Bishopstown, an impressive and young player emerging on this Cork side over the past season, dispossessed by the experienced, wily old fox that John Milan is. Lays it off, far his own Kelly, floating this one in. Don't look, Cusick. Nice stick work. He was under a little bit of pressure from Dan Shanahan. Gives it a short ball for his Sanogo Halpine, the 30-year-old from the Piershig and the north side of Cork City. Gives it up for his Joe Dean, tries to pull in it first time. Battling with Owen Murphy from Shamrocks. Sideline ball, far side of the field. Here. 29-year-old who made his debut back in 1996, has scored 28 points in 5 championship games so far this season. Ball sent in low. Under pressure there is the Waterford full-back Declan Prendergast. Lending assistance, Jack Kennedy wearing 10 but operating at midfield. Cleared by Ken McGrath. Flicked away, Stephen Malumphey battling hard. John Gardner. 2 Waterford players, one of them is John Milan. Turns onto his left, blocked again superbly by Brian Murphy. Renewing his old acquaintance with the cornerback from Bride Rovers in Cork. Nice ball, good ball into Dan Shanahan in space in front of the Cusick stand. Floats this one in, and it's going across the face of the goal and wide. First wide for Waterford. Interesting tussle going on in various places, and probably the most interesting will be between Dermot O'Sullivan and this man, Dan Shanahan.
Yeah, Waterford at it already. Like, Dan started centre forward, now he's in full, and you'll see that him changing with Chambers Prendergast. Could be out in the wing again in a few minutes. That's the way they play the game.
First to the ball is the Waterford captain, Michael Walsh. Goes for the ball into space. Waiting over there is Owen Kelly. Playing at right half forward this afternoon. And once again, just sneaking to the wrong side of the post for the Daishies. Positional switches, obviously, as normal service has resumed for Justin McCarthy and his team. Puck out is a reasonably quick one. Comes down for his Tony Brown. Nice pickup ahead of Jerry O'Connor. Great-hearted player. He has it all. Passion, self-belief and skill. This is Brown, hurler of the year back in 1998 and still hurling as good as ever. All-star last year, All-star in 1998. Ken McGrath always seems to pick up Man of the Match awards, particularly in the Munster Championship against Cork. Hits this with everything. Every muscle in the body must have been used. It's Ken McGrath with a point from a massive free inside his own half of the field.
Yeah, and we're after seeing both Tony Brown and Ken McGrath. What two great players. We've talked about it many times, but Brown wins a great free and Ken sticks it over the bar, and we've seen that many times before.
Back it comes, far as Ben O'Connor. Some New Jersey pulling, spotted by the referee from Clara in County Offaly. It's going to be a free in for Cork, and coming across is Joe Dean. This is the foul. You can see the holding on Ben O'Connor. The referee was correct. The familiar poise, style of Joe Dean. Hits it straight over Clinton Hennessy's crossbar. Level for the second time after just over 6 minutes of play. The sun into the eyes of the Cork players as that puck out is taken by Clinton Hennessy. Stalemate between the 45 and the 65-metre line. Referee correct to leave play continue. Ball stopped by Shane O'Neill from Bishopstown, south side of Cork City. Pumps it into the corner. Going after this is Declan Prendergast from Ardmore. Younger brother of the centre half forward, Seamus. Confident play by fullback and goalkeeper. Clinton Hennessy gives it long. Dan Shanahan back out around the 40 again. Picked up here by Jack Kennedy, lost it. Lays it off as the big, strong Seamus Prendergast gets through the challenge. Easily dealt with by Donal Logue. Changes the direction of play by sending it over towards Patrick Cronin, one of the most improved players in 2007 in terms of really building a name for himself. This ball is a testing one for Clinton Hennessy. Good hands again. Lays it off as his corner back. That's Owen Murphy from the Shamrocks Club. Intermediate club indeed between Tallow and York. Comes down for his own Kelly. Sends it in for his John Milan. There's a buzz around Croke Park when he touches the Slither. He turns, he shoots, and that's another point for Waterford.
That's a great score, Marty. Brilliant first touch by Milan here. You see it again. It's a very hard ball to control, coming at him very hard, and great first touch and over the bar. Great score by Milan.
Normal service resumed here in Croke Park between Cork and Waterford.
Yeah, lively start. I just noticed in Waterford they're playing the full forward and playing way out the field, and they're looking to, obviously, that way Dan drifts in behind, they're leaving that space and they're hoping to get in there for a goal.
Fine catch by Patrick Cronin. Pa Cronin. Dropping this one in. Joe Dean looks around. Not for very long. There's a touch off a Waterford defender. Comes far as the corner forward, Neil Ronan, and that's over the bar. From Ballyea in the north side of the county of Cork. A player that was first choice back in the 1999 All-Ireland final. This is a superb catch here. Beautiful play by Pat Cronin from Bishopstown.
Yeah, he's doing it all year. And Marty, I think a feature already with Cork is the direct play. They're really Cork, no messing around, long ball into the square, and that's obviously their tactic today.
Level for the third time after 8 minutes. Here's Stephen Malumphey. Dermot O'Sullivan chasing after it. Goes for the height, and it has that vital ingredient of accuracy as well. The umpires consult, and it's Malumphey's second point of the afternoon. Damage to right corner back Sean O'Neill's hurling. Needs an immediate replacement. Justin McCarthy in his 6th championship season with Waterford, and of course played with his opponent Gerald McCarthy in the 1966 All-Ireland final between Cork and Kilkenny, which of course the Leesiders won. Going back together, this is Ken McGrath. Has won 7 county championship medals with Mount Sion. Great club in the city of Waterford. Comes down for his number 8, Michael Brick Walsh. Tony Brown needs a little bit of time to control the Slither. Gives it long. John Milan is up there. So too is Dan Shanahan. Chance of a goal, and he sneaks it inside. Donal Cusick's post. He really Houses experience a rich vein of form, and the Daishies celebrate on Hill 16 and around this wonderful arena. A long ball into Dan Shanahan. Look at the skill here as he sneaked it past one of the best goalkeepers in Ireland, Donal O'Cusack.
Yeah, Marty, look at the room in behind. I was just talking about it a minute ago. All out the field and 40 yards of space, long ball by Brown over the top, and that's what Dan does best. He drifts in there, very hard to pick him up, and a great finish.
He has scored 5 goals and 4 points in the championship up to now. Make that 6 goals and 4 points in 3 championship encounters. It's a remarkable record. Patrick Ronan seems to have picked up an injury down at the other end of the field, and Brian Gavin is making sure that the medical attention is available to him. But Dan Shanahan is undoubtedly the talking point of the hurling world, because his form at the moment is just incredible. He scored 6-4 in 3 games in 2004. He has 6-4 in 3 games in 2007.
Yeah, goal machine. But what, you know, he's definitely the forward of the year, and he's a great, like I said it before, he's a fantastic attitude to the game. He loves hurling, goes out, wears his heart in his sleeve and gives it everything, and he's matured a bit then as well, you know, and he's filled into a great athlete, and you know, top class, and you'd be delighted for someone like him. You know, he brings a bit of colour and excitement to the game.
Hard to imagine that 4 or 5 years ago he was finding it difficult to get his regular place on the team. Shows you what commitment and drive and determination can do. Mentioning those human characteristics, and the man in the picture has it all. Ken McGrath made his debut against Tipperary back in 1996 as just a raw 18-year-old in Walsh Park. Here's Dan going for a point in front of the Hogan stand. It's magic from Dan the man. He looks like a man with a mission. Look at this. Centimetres in from the sideline in front of the Hogan stand. Judges it perfectly. What a point.
As good as you'll say, Marty. Brilliantly picked out by McGrath, but he's a player full of confidence. And you know, those balls go wide 9 times out of 10. But when your hand is in and it's your ear, that's what happens. They all seem to go over.
The puck out by Donal O'Cusack is aimed at Patrick Cronin because of his height and physique. Here's a chance for Cork to restore. Good save, and Clinton Hennessy is there twice and blocks it out for a 65. He lived a charmed life momentarily, but the initial save was good, and the rebound was missed initially. Just watch this again. There was a chance there, hopped off the goalkeeper, and he was there again. Great save.
Yeah, not a great shot by Tom Kenny, but very good save here. The goalie got up very quickly and knocked it out for 65.
He has added great experience and stability to this Waterford defence. Came onto the championship side in 2005, did so well in his first appearance, and Justin McCarthy has huge faith in the man from Ardmore.
Yeah, there's only 12 minutes gone, Marty, but you know, Cork 5 points down. They need to score 2 to settle them down. You know, Waterford seems to be getting an awful lot of room up front.
Linesman just came in just to emphasise where the 65 had to be taken. Just almost dead smack in the middle of the field. Chance for Ben O'Connor, and that goes over the bar. That's his first point in this All-Ireland quarter-final. 4 points between the teams. Clinton Hennessy made quite a reputation for himself in America. He was in Boston for about 7 years, and the word filtered through that he was really performing well in the United States. And now he's playing in Croke Park for his 3rd successive year. Nice ball inside from Michael Brick Walsh, whereas John Milan looking around for a little bit of support outside, not readily available. Floats it in more hope than confidence. I'm afraid that is Waterford's 3rd wide of the game. Bit of a blistering start though for the opening 12 minutes or so.
It certainly is. The breeze seems to be freshening as well, and it's with Waterford as well in the first half. It's, you know, that has to be taken into account as well. They're having a lot of the play.
Good work by Timmy McCarthy, getting it in for as Jerry O'Connor is discarded with the helmet. Good hook by James Murray. Waterford defending well. Jerry O'Connor chases after this, so too does Timmy McCarthy. Back for his hurler of the year back in 2005. Sideline ball for Cork, just inside the Waterford 45-metre line. Some lovely hooking here done by James Murray, preventing Ben O'Connor, Jerry O'Connor dropping that one in. Under 21 All-Ireland medalist back in 1998. Ben O'Connor, 22 points in 5 championship games going into this All-Ireland quarter-final. Not O'Connor's best. Easily stopped by Michael Walsh. Floats it high, over to Sean O'Halpine, bats it down for as Joe Dean. Gets inside, Owen Murphy puts it onto his favourite side, and that is gone to the left and wide for Cork's second wide of the afternoon. Still those 4 points separating the sides, which is by far and away the largest margin between the counties so far in this game. John Gardner tries to knock it down for as Jerry O'Connor. Picked up instead by James Murray. Dan Shanahan is operating out here in front of the Hogan stand. 2 Cork players around him, Ben O'Connor and Ronan Kern. That's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Good pressure by the Leesiders.
On the line, John, on the line,
John Gardner, since his debut in 2004, he's always played in Croke Park on All-Ireland final day. Can that record be maintained? Pulling on it there was Neil Ronan. Goes over the sideline. Advantage to Waterford, temporarily at least. James Murray placing the ball very carefully. He's played full-back as well as left half-back for his county. It's a good sideline cut. Knocked away by Dermot O'Sullivan. Pulled on by Paul Flynn into the space. Chasing after this is one John Milan. Back outside if he needs him is Tony Brown. Milan goes the more direct route, and that is going over the crossbar, I would say. Yes, it is. It's his second point. The league and Munster champions are beginning to find their rhythm. They now enjoy a 5-point advantage.
Yeah, we don't see much ground hurling in the modern game. Lovely ball by Paul Flynn there into space, and it just shows you, give Flynn, he needs that yard, get the ball in front of him and stick it over every time.
First to the ball, the motto of the Waterford players. Michael Walsh, intercepted this time by Ronan Kern. Sends it low, long far is Patrick Cronin. Dropping this one in, but it's no danger for Cork. And Cork yet to find the momentum up front. They just don't seem to be able to break down, and the quality ball going into their full forward line is not what you would expect at this level.
I agree with you, Martin. They look a bit flat all over the field, even Jerry O'Connor and Tom Kenny not up, their usual running game, and quiet all over the field, and look to be struggling to settle down.
Some statistical information for you. 3 wides for Cork, 3 wides for Waterford. All level.
I spoke too soon. Here comes Kenny.
This is more the familiar poise and style of Tom Kenny, putting himself into a scoring position and flying that over the crossbar. Man from Greta won a Dean Ryan medal with St Finbarr's Farron Ferris in 1996. He is a player of great quality. In fact, he won a junior Munster football medal as well with the Leesiders, but really established himself over the last couple of seasons as the #1 centre fielder with Jerry O'Connor. Tuck out by Clinton Hennessy. Dermot O'Sullivan gets there first, under a little bit of pressure from John Milan. Sean O'Halpine lends assistance. Milan wins the tussle. Backfires Paul Flynn. Dropping this in for Stephen Malumphey. Manages to get the slipper but loses it. Sean O'Halpine didn't quite like the challenge from Malumphey. Milan comes in with a challenge on John Gardner, which the Cork fans don't particularly like. I don't think Brian Gavin, the referee, liked it as well, so he's going to have a word with the number 13. And I think it's just more of a ticking than anything else.
Yeah, that was a bad foul, but the tackling of the Waterford forwards, and we saw yesterday with Kilkenny, it's a real feature of the modern game, and so far they're not letting the Cork backs dominate at all. They're tackling like demons.
Long ball by Donald O'Cusick. Chasing after this is Aidan Carney. Ken McGrath's back there as well. Gives it a massive clearance, but just over the sideline. Possession again given to Cork. Sideline ball going to be taken probably by Sanogo Halpine. First All-Ireland senior winning captain from the Piershik. As down at the other end, waiting for it, is Declan Prendergast and Kieran Murphy. Interesting statistical information. 52% possession for Cork, 48% for Waterford. And it's Waterford that's winning the battle. Another testing ball for Diarmuid O'Sullivan and Dan Shanahan. Knocked down. Breaking ball, but there's nobody there for Waterford. Ronan Kern is there. Centre half back from St. Finbarr's. Down low far as Tom Kenny. Chasing after him was Jack Kennedy. Far as Sanogo Halpine. Going past midfield into Waterford territory. Uses the short grip. Floats it high and sends it straight over the bar.
That's a great score, Marty. Sorry, Diarmuid O'Sullivan got, that's one part of his game. He's really improved under the high ball. Knocked it out, and great use of possession there. Ronan Kern through to Tom Kenny, onto Sean Hogan, a great score.
It's his second point in the championship. Scored a point on May 27th when Cork played Clare in Simple Stadium. Breaking ball favours the Waterford midfielder Michael Walsh. Dropping this one in again for Dan Shanahan and Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Donlow Cusick will have to come off his goal line. Was Dan Shanahan being held? He's protesting. Referee says play on. Down towards Neil Ronan. James Murray and Aidan Carney around him. Breaking ball comes out and squeezes it far as Kieran Murphy. Far as Ben O'Connor. And that's a lovely point. It's his second and his first from play. And just when you think Waterford were getting their momentum, you'd have to say the pendulum has swung back to the advantage of Cork.
Yeah, and I suppose we should know from experience that's what happens in these games. It's going to be over and back, and you won't dominate for long periods. Two great teams.
Puck out by Clinton Hennessy. Oh, fabulous catch by Shane O'Neill. Just 20 years of age. Played Fitzgibbon Cup with University College Cork as this one drops in. Joe Dean sniffing around the goals. So too, minding it is Declan Prendergast. Lays it off. Ken McGrath unable to reach that hand pass. And again, the pressure continues to mount in Waterford. Neil Ronan was anticipating a quick one, but decided against it. Good to see Ben O'Connor back in business here in Croke Park. Had a serious hip operation last December, missed most of the league, but now obviously fully fit again. Cork fans try to get behind their team. Ben O'Connor takes the sideline ball. It's a dangerous one. Inside there is Pat Cronin and Timmy McCarthy. Comes back outside for Kieran Murphy. Trying to get inside. The referee has blown his whistle, and it looks like he's going to give a free in to Cork. Good work by the Sarsfields man, former Cork All-Ireland minor. He's a star player on his way up, making his name big in the senior ranks.
Yeah, a player who's taken a year or two to settle in, got two great goals against Waterford the last day, and uses possession very well, throws the ball around. A great team player.
This free going to be taken by Joe Dean as Clinton Hennessy organises his defence. Just outside the 20-metre line. Hits back in front of the post. It's an easy tap over for the Cork captain. 4 points, about 5-6 minutes ago, has now been reduced to just one.
Yeah, and a cautious enough start. Good game, but really hasn't fully ignited yet, and you're just kind of waiting. I think they're sizing each other up. They're like the heavyweight boxers. And free in there. Bit of a nudge there by Sean Hogan. He's not happy about it.
I think Seamus Prendergast himself can share the moment, but it's advantage to Waterford. Coming out to take this is going to be Owen Kelly.
I feel that breeze, Marty's picking up all the time, and Waterford have it. They want to be a few points up at half-time.
All-star 2002 in his very first season playing with Waterford. Scorer 1 goal and 9 points in the championship to date, and that's the way it's going to remain for the moment at least. A ball to the right and wide. That's 4 wides for Waterford. wind that Michael Duignan mentioned a moment ago is certainly picking up and is favouring on the 7th floor of the Hogan stand at least. Waterford, it mightn't quite be the same down at ground level. Sanogo Halpine. Blocked by a wall of Waterford jerseys. Down for Ken McGrath. Challenge is an illegal one. Referee spotting it immediately, and Ken McGrath suffering at least temporarily. Let's just watch this again as challenge from Timmy McCarthy, a nasty little one.
Yeah, it was accidental. I think if you meet Ken, you'll see he's got plenty of them, a lot of teeth missing, and you know the argument about helmets, and Ken doesn't bother with one, but he's taken a lot of knocks over the years. A tough bit of stuff, and the way he reads the game, you know, that's 3 or 4 times already he's picked up that breaking ball coming out from the full back line.
He's had a broken ankle, a broken shoulder, a broken thumb, you name it. I think Ken McGrath has had it.
And a few lads who ran into him over the years have them as well.
Ken McGrath with the free. Former All-Star, 2002, 2004 at number 6, and of course also at centre half forward. Ball in for as John Milan. Brian Murphy from the Cormac area of Cork. Going back under a little bit of pressure. Gathers it second time round. Sean O'Halpine there to lend a bit of support. As Cork come away with Jerry O'Connor with the helmet now re-established. Cork fans are saying that should have been a free. I don't think so. I think it's just good pressure by Waterford. John Milan seems to have picked up an injury. He sent that ball across for Dan Shanahan. Nice ball inside for Stephen Malumphey, but he just left it behind him. John Gardner sweeps up. John Milan is still down injured, by the way, as that ball comes down for his own Murphy. Joe Dean tries to hook him, sends it into the centre. Right there waiting for this Jack Kennedy. Pass across for his own Kelly. Was intercepted beautifully by Ben O'Connor. And there's a Cork player also down injured off camera as Ben O'Connor seemed to take a knock. His twin brother Jerry, I think, is the player that's down injured in front of the Cusick stand.
Yeah, he looks serious enough. He was coming out that ball, and as you say, you know, great defence by the Waterford forwards there, and great tackling. And Jerry O'Connor seems to have taken a heavy enough knock over there.
Jerry O'Connor is still getting attention as the referee waits on to make sure that the midfielder from Newtown Chandrum can continue on. Dr. Con Murphy there just leaning over him. Just seems to be a knee problem for Jerry O'Connor. I think there was a yellow card there brandished by the referee, and it could well have been Michael Brick Walsh, but we're not too sure. As still Jerry O'Connor waits on, and Gerald McCarthy has a consultation. This is Jerry O'Connor coming away under pressure from John Milan. The referee has given the free to Cork, and Jerry O'Connor is back on his feet, ready for action. This ball sent in by Ben O'Connor, straight over the crossbar. It's his 3rd point in this All-Ireland quarter-final. We think that the yellow card was actually shown to Jack Kennedy, and surprisingly enough, it's Jack Kennedy that's making way as Owen McGrath is introduced. So a change in the Waterford lineup. Confirmation, Owen McGrath for Jack Kennedy. Normally plays in the forwards, younger brother of Ken. Tapping it forward there was Tom Kenny. Ben O'Connor, lovely little flick up. Gets the ball inside for Tom Kenny once more. Tries to put it forward. Incarnate not standing around for any fanciful stuff. Joe Dean battling hard, so too is Tony Brown. And that's going to be a free for Waterford. Some tenacious tackling, hard, passionate, but very manly sort of hurling. Neil Ronan and Ken McGrath getting involved in silly sort of stuff. The linesman is indicating off camera exactly where the ball should be positioned, and Neil Ronan was just...
I don't think a yard that far out is going to make much difference.
No, I don't think so either. The free taken by Ken McGrath. Up towards Seamus Prendergast. battered away by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. John Milan just leaving it behind him. Brian Murphy snapping in his heels, gathers it, sends it down towards Owen Murphy and Joe Dean. Murphy of Waterford laying it back for his Ken McGrath. Half blocked down by Kieran Murphy. Neil Ronan challenging. So too is Timmy McCarthy. Kicks it forward for his Ben O'Connor. A wall of Waterford jerseys. Once again, the Slither was on the ground. There's a hurley flying there as well as they tussle for possession. Michael Walsh is the number 8. Referee has finally blown his whistle and he's going to give a throw ball here. Half an hour played. Waterford and Cork level as they've been so many times. Level for the 4th time in this quarter-final.
I think Cork are going to be the happier team at this stage. You know, Waterford had a few bad wides so far. Cork have taken their chances to be economical and they're really settling into the game.
Going back to vacuum this up is Sean O'Halpine. There's the different time since the last score for both Waterford and Cork. As this ball, almost 14 minutes since Waterford managed to score in this quarter-final. An interesting statistic, good information as it comes down for as Michael Brick Walsh looking around. Maybe this attack will change that statistic dramatically. The ball dropping in towards Paul Flynn, who's moved in to top of the left. As the referee agrees with the umpire and he's giving a 65. As Paul Flynn puts it back out to probably Ken McGrath to take this. It's a long time, isn't it, Michael, for Waterford to fail to score?
Well, it is, especially, you know, lightning start, 1-4 on the board very quickly, and then, you know, really the Cork backs have got on top. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, Dan Shannon's in on top of him. That's not working out. I think Dan is better on the wing and drifting in for the ball. You know, and he's still picking up a few scores from out the field. I think he's out of the play an awful lot at full forward.
Scored 3 points on the journey to this quarter-final in the championship. Has already scored 1. Make that 2. Both of them from frees. Waterford lead again. Quick puck out comes down towards Timmy McCarthy. Loses possession, however. Good tackling going on by both sides. Backfires Owen Murphy. Giving it plenty of distance, but unfortunately ran out of space. Sideline ball for Cork within their own half of the field.
Yeah, Marty, I don't know what the status with Niall McCarthy's injuries, but you'd be expecting, you know, if he's anywhere right, that he'll be coming into the thread. Timmy isn't making much of an impact, and Ken McGrath's winning an awful lot of position.
Yeah, I met him in the dressing room actually earlier, and I think he was hopeful himself that he might get a run sometime. But that's the decision of that man on your television screen, Gerald McCarthy. As that ball drops in towards Joe Dean. Nice skill again by Kieran Murphy, nice control onto the left. Hits it, but again it's wide. Cork's tally of wides now 4, as indeed Waterford's tally of wides also 4, and 1 point between the teams. Waterford never really gained from the momentum that was achieved by Dan Shanahan's goal, did they, Michael?
No, they went to sleep a bit after that, and, you know, credit I suppose to the Cork backs are well on top since, but like the game's it's getting hard to get going, Marty. You know, it's a little bit dead, and it's as I said, they're very wary of each other and afraid to make mistakes, and, you know, the hurling is not as maybe off the cuff as we've seen in the Munster Championship.
It doesn't look likely that we're going to get 8 goals and 33 points in this particular quarter-final. Not like what we had back on June 17th in Thurles.
Yeah, it's an intriguing game all the same. You know, both teams are playing well within themselves at the moment, but you're waiting for someone to explode.
Owen Kelly along the surface for John Milan. Hits it over his shoulder. If that goes in, it's a fabulous point, but it's wide, increasing the tally of wides for Waterford to 5. Waterford well aware of these quick puck outs that Donald Logue employs. Gives it for Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Was that outside the 20-metre line? Referee didn't spot it. It was dodgy enough. I think it was just barely there. Ball comes down for Kieran Murphy. Did well to gather it. Gets inside. Referee has blown his whistle and given a free to the Leesiders on the 20-metre line. Dead smack in front of the posts.
That's a great catch, Marty, and we saw this with Kieran Murphy twice against Waterford the last day when he got 2 great goals, but great time in here. He's not the biggest man in the world, but that's a fantastic catch and wins a very important free for Cork.
Kieran Murphy scored 2 goals and 6 points in All-Ireland minor final back in 2001. It's a yellow card as well for Declan Prendergast, as Joe Dean takes this free to level the match again for the 5th time. Simple tap over for the man from Killa. 4 points for Joe Dean. And the sides level again. Confirmation of a yellow card for the Waterford fullback. 2 minutes of additional time to be added on in this first half. Clinton Hennessy takes the puck out. Again, aims it in the direction of the Hogan stand side, where the shade of the upper tier now is emerging more and more onto the surface. Timmy McCarthy battling hard. With him is Owen Kelly. Back fires Dermot O'Sullivan. Great block done by Kelly. Falls back fires the rock. Comes fires Patrick Ronan. Doesn't even look where he's hitting it, but it's gone to the right and wide. Cork and Waterford battle it out, and it really is a tough battle with 35 minutes now played as we go into injury time. Level 5 times here in Croke Park. Long puck out by Clinton Hennessy. What a fabulous catch by Sean O'Halpine. And remember, the sun is in his eyes as well. Comes far as Joe Dean, trying to do a little jig around Ewan Murphy. Succeeds in doing so. Lays it off with the support available. It's in the corner. Ball sent back out for Patrick Ronan. Stephen Malumphey is back there for the Daishies. Comes for Kieran Murphy. Great defending by Waterford. They have possession, and away comes Owen McGrath. Leaves it behind him momentarily. Hits a fair wall of Cork lads. One of them is Kieran Murphy. Comes for Tony Brown. Lashes it deep into Cork territory. Donald Cusick was coming off his line. John Milan comes in to challenge. Pulled on by Shane O'Neill. Goes back again. It's hard, it's tough, it's manly, it's passionate. Comes back outside. The ball dithering all over the place, but the referee has blown his whistle for a pick off the ground, I think, and that's going to be a free for Cork.
I think he's right. Yeah, Sean O'G, I have to say, Marty, this is the best game I've seen Sean O'G playing maybe in the last 2 years. He's, you know, you'll often find that maybe when you get into your 30s, he's around a long time. It's very hard to peak for the whole season, but he's absolutely, you know, come right for today, come to Croke Park, and he's having some game.
3 All-Ireland medals in the back pocket in Cloyne. Donald Cusick, 1999, 2004, 2005, dropping this one in. Got it superbly by Ken McGrath. Calling by Tony Brown was to lay it off, but the referee, I think, has blown his whistle. And it's half-time in Croke Park. It's a most interesting game of hurling. It mightn't be quite the exhilarating display that we got in Simple Stadium in Thurles, but Dan Shanahan lifted the Daishies' hearts with a goal after 10 minutes. A wonderful strike that beat one of the best goalkeepers in Ireland, Donald Cusick. 5 times they've been level. Joe Dean has scored 4 times, 3 of them from frees. It's a pulsating contest, as we would expect, between Cork and Waterford as they go into the dressing rooms here underneath us in the Hogan stand. I wonder what Gerald McCarthy and Justin McCarthy will say at half-time. Who will make it to the semi-final? We'll have the analysis after the break. Do stay with us. Half-time here in Croke Park. Waterford 1-7, Cork 10 points. Don't go away. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the second half. As you mentioned, Brian Phelan is on. He was left half back on the Waterford team that won the Munster Championship in 2004. Surprising to see and hear that James Murray has been replaced. He certainly seemed to be playing quite well in that opening 37 minutes of action. 5 times they were level in that period. I wonder what will it be in 35 minutes time. Here's John Milan. John Milan, Seamus Prendergast and Paul Flynn, by the way, now make up the full forward line. And here's Flynn. There's a chance of a goal. He drives it in! We have a match on now in Croke Park. It's do or die. It's goodbye to the championship for whatever side loses. It's a simple goal. The defending by Cork was poor, but the striking by Paul Flynn was absolutely superb, giving goalkeeper Donald Cusick no chance.
Well, that's what makes him so dangerous. He never touched the ball in the first half. First ball, he never loses confidence. And I was surprised, you know, when he got the ball, nobody closed him down, and especially him. He's not going to settle for an easy point. He'll take his goal any time when it's on.
Poor enough marking though by Cork, wasn't it, Michael?
Very poor marking. We saw it yesterday with Eddie Brennan ghosting in behind, and you know, Milan did well there. He took a heavy knock but still managed to get the ball away, and Flynn found himself in acres of space, and he's the one man, you know, like all those Waterford forwards, he won't miss from there.
Man that made his debut against Limerick in the Munster Championship in 2001, John Milan, now 26 years of age, as the puck out by Donald Cusick comes down towards Pat Ronan. Leaving it behind and sweeping it up is Tony Brown. Down towards John Milan. Knocked away by left corner back Brian Murphy in his 4th championship season with the Leesiders. It's a brilliant start by Waterford, but indeed Justin McCarthy and his boys got a great start with Dan Shanahan's goal after 10 minutes. Can they now maintain that momentum? Because they certainly seem to drop a gear after that. This is going to be taken by Owen Kelly. John Milan gets a touch to it. Stephen Malumphey has added quite an amount of pace and physique to the team since he made his championship debut. First year really establishing himself on the team as John Gardner is fouled, and that's going to be a free for Cork. Not a good start for Gerald McCarthy, and I'm sure he's greatly concerned about it. He won under 21 on All-Ireland medals in 1966 and had the unique distinction of captaining those teams. He's 9 Munster medals back in his home in Cork City as this ball dropped in. Dangerous enough ball. Wonderfully caught, however, by Ken McGrath. Lays it out for his Aidan Carney from Tallow. Ex-St. Coleman's College for Moy. It's a good ball into the space for Dan Shanahan, who's available. Whips this ball onto the hurley and strikes it over the crossbar. A goal and 2 points from play for Dan Shanahan.
Yeah, and it makes it look so easy. You know, again, Marty could have headed for the goal there. There was loads of space inside him. Lovely score, made it look easy. But, you know, poor start by Cork again, and Waterford are finding an awful lot of room up front. The very same as the first half.
Sideline ball for Cork. Waterford player was the last to touch it. Going to be taken by Sanogo Halpine. Great atmosphere in Croke Park as O'Halpine drops this in again. Outside the Waterford 20-metre line, Declan Prendergast from Ardmore. Good ball into space, Owen McGrath chasing after it. Keeping him away from the goals is John Gardner, but it's sliced off the hurley. Sideline ball for Cork. As Michael mentioned during our half-time analysis, 72,426 people packed in here into Croke Park this afternoon and thoroughly enjoying the entertainment. Indeed, the wonderful display of both Clare, Limerick, Cork and now Waterford. Owen McGrath works hard, loses possession however under intense pressure. Sean O'Halpine is available for Jerry O'Connor. Tries to set it up for the Napierchik man. Gets it onto his left, drops it in. Clinton Hennessy is backpedaling. He's wearing the cap, but you can see it's difficult for goalkeepers down at that Hill 16 end. Chasing after this is Brian Phelan, who's taken up position there at left half back. It's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Ben O'Connor has 3 points to his credit at the moment. Going to drop this in around the house. Trailing by 4 points. Level at half-time, remember. 5 minutes into the second half. Nice ball. Clinton Hennessy, good goalkeeping, good hands. Lays it off as Ken McGrath. Good solid goalkeeping was part of the equation that was missing for Waterford for many years. Here's left corner back Brian Murphy, floating another one of these high dropping balls. In underneath it is Pat Ronan. It's there for Cork, it's there for Waterford as well. And it's Waterford to come away with it. To the stick work of Owen Murphy. Takes a little bit too much out of it. Joe Dean is battling there. So too is Kieran Murphy, who comes out to the 40 to gather. Gets inside, lays it off. Nice ball inside, fires Neil Ronan. Backfires Murphy, nice one too. Getting inside the cover, he's inside the large rectangle. That is a penalty. Brilliant work by Kieran Murphy and Neil Ronan. They worked the 1-2 beautifully, causing problems for Waterford. Murphy was suffering on the ground. But this was a joy to watch from a Cork fan's point of view, I'm sure. Nice combination play, no doubt that had to be a penalty.
High tackle, and this is what makes Cork so dangerous. You know, I think Justin McCarthy has often talked about the goal last year, that they got it too early, you know, and Cork had loads of time to come back, and it's the very same situation here. Goal straight away, but Cork half an hour to go, very experienced team, and they won't panic.
Ken McGrath has been shown a yellow card for that challenge, and Kieran Murphy, when the Daishies were exposed, thanks to that wonderful play by 13 and 14 on the Cork side, Neil Ronan and Kieran Murphy.
Interesting, Martin. Neil Ronan appears to be taken. I thought Dermot or Sully, you know, they don't really have a forward that takes the penalties. I thought Sully would man, but obviously Neil Ronan is taking this one.
Vital moment in this All-Ireland quarter-final. Neil Ronan hitting it into the back of the Waterford net. 1 point between the teams. Cork have this wonderful belief in themselves. It's a tradition, it's a self-belief, it's skill. And Neil Ronan from Ballyea in North Cork rejoices, and rightly so, as he crashes that past Clinton Hennessy. Just when you think Waterford are gaining control, Cork can snap at their heels and come back. The ball was a late challenge, or the free being given as a late challenge on the Cork man, or by the Cork man. Brian Gavin, I think, wants to have a word with the Cork defender. That happens to be Dermot O'Sullivan, who's pleading his innocence, and so too are all his colleagues. And Brian Gavin from Clara noticed the foul, and he's going to put his name into the book, and this could well be a yellow card for the number 3. The Rock is in the black book, and he's on the yellow card. Owen Kelly to stretch Waterford's lead again. On the 20-metre line, just a few centimetres outside it. Referee Brian Gavin has gone into his umpires down at that end. His dad, Michael Gavin, and PJ Lawler are down there doing the umpire duties for Brian. And obviously something happened, and it's going to be a free in for Waterford from this position. A little bit of confusion, actually. Brian Gavin explaining to the Cork players he wants Paul Flynn outside the small rectangle. He's gone out over the end line, and he's now telling Paul Flynn to get outside the 20-metre line. Here's Owen Kelly, and after all of that messing about, it's a simple tap over. Not too sure what all that was about, actually.
No, not really, no. I know the free, Dermot Sutton pulled a bit of a stroke first of all on the ball, and then he chopped down on Prendergast, but I don't know what all the...
Well, Niall McCarthy is being introduced. He is the first choice centre-half forward. He shakes hands with his namesake, Timmy McCarthy, who makes way, and he goes in to mark Ken McGrath. They have been great rivals over the last couple of years. Neil McCarthy broke his metatarsal bone in his foot in that Munster Championship match against Waterford, and this is his first championship appearance since that time. Ball inside, fires Paul Flynn. Loses possession, seemed to get a knock, more accidental than anything else. Beautiful catch by Ken McGrath. Giving the ball out for Tony Brown as Waterford go in search of more scores, dropping this one in. Backs and forwards going up for it, knocked away by Dermot O'Sullivan. Stephen Malumphey trying to get there first, knocks it back just swiftly for his own McGrath. Fires Brian Phelan, the substitute at half-time, has a shot, and that is to the right and wide. First wide of the second half for Waterford, 6 in total. Donald Cusick wants to take the puck out quickly. Gets it for his Jerry O'Connor, bypasses Owen Kelly. This is more like Cork, and more like Jerry O'Connor. Lays it off for his Niall McCarthy, getting his first touch. Tom Kenny is available, uses Sanogo Halpine instead, controls it well, going for his second point in the quarter-final.
What a game he's having, Marty. The first point of the first half off his left hand, that off his right hand, and Brian Phelan had an easier chance there for Waterford, sent it wide, but Sean O'G shown great leadership today, and you can see what it means to him.
Great score by Sanogo Halpine, controlled it well, knew what he was doing once he got the pass. I see Cian O'Connor is warming up along the sideline. Now, Cian played fullback in that Munster Championship game against Waterford in Simple Stadium. Normally plays as a defender, so Cork perhaps anticipating a change or thinking about one. Here's Neil Ronan dropping this one in, but it's nobody's ball in there, I'm afraid. Bad wide.
Bad wide, should be treading that in front of Joe Dean. And Joe's getting very little possession today, but Owen McGrath is doing very well in the middle of the field, and Michael Walsh, they're subduing the Cork midfield a good bit, and Owen McGrath is that type of player. He's full of energy and he's covering a lot of ground out there.
Long puck out by Clinton Hennessy, down towards Dan Shanahan, picked up by Seamus Prendergast. Some statistics information there. Puck outs won 17 all from both Waterford and Cork. It's that tight. No matter what information that we throw at you at home or wherever you're watching this game, it is so tight between Cork and Waterford. Wides, puck outs won. Indeed, our head-to-head as well is fairly close at the moment, as this is going to be taken by Owen Kelly just inside the Cork 45-metre line. Another free for Kelly and another point for him, his second of the afternoon.
And Dermot O'Sullivan's given away those 2 frees, you know, and they're the first 2 that have scored. Up to that, they've been very disciplined, but Dermot want to watch, you know, he's on a yellow card already.
Puck out by Donald O'Cusick, picked up by Tom Kenny. Floating this one into Joe Dean, who wasn't quite anticipating that the ball would come that side of him. Getting there first is Owen Murphy. Tries Tony Brown. Delivers it into the middle where the captain of Waterford is there. Bypasses him. Comes far as Ben O'Connor. Oh, lovely stick work by O'Connor. Controls it well. Gets it inside far as Pat Ronan. On the overlap is John Gardner. Loses possession. Goes back. Niall McCarthy is there too. So too is Kieran Murphy. Coming across is Jerry O'Connor. Niall McCarthy to his right. Jerry O'Connor puts it onto his left and smacks it over the bar for his first point in this quarter-final. Good play by Cork, good controlled play by the Leesiders.
Yeah, lovely bit of skill. I think Waterford were going to Ben O'Connor, lovely skill, nothing on, took it back, you know, hint of Shefflin there. But I think Cork, you know, are going to be happier here. Waterford haven't built an either goal, and here's Paul Flynn.
Down at the other end, it's Paul Flynn, giving him a personal tally of a goal and a point.
Yeah, he's deadly accurate. But Marty, just to finish that point, I think, here's Flynn again, 2 touches of the ball, 1-1, you know, he's a deadly forward. But I think that Waterford, you know, they've got 2 goals, gone 3 or 4 points up, and Cork have come back at them, and Cork are going to be happier, and they're still struggling to find a rhythm, but they are beginning to build.
Puck out by Donald O'Cusick. 2 points between the teams, 2-11 to 1-12, 17 points to 15 if you wanted in the other way. This is Patrick Cronin trying to get inside Stephen Malumphy. Cronin backfires Jerry O'Connor. The linesman gets in the way, but it's O'Connor that picks it up. Gets by Malumphy. Brought to ground by the corner forward from Ballyduff Upper, and that's a free in for Cork. And Waterford cannot afford to give away frees like this. And once more, it's Joe Dean that comes across. 12 years, in fact, playing with Cork at the highest level. Dean with the free. It's tailing to the right. Nobody can get a connection. It's knocked in forward. There's a breaking ball there and swept away by Ken McGrath ahead of Niall McCarthy. Danger again for Cork, or for Waterford. Cut out this time by Owen Murphy. Swept down over to the far side. John Gardner first to the ball. Protects his hands with the hurley. Grabs the Slither with the other. Knocked away for a sideline ball off the stick of Dan Shanahan. First All-Star was won last year by John Gardner. Gains a few metres down that sideline in front of the Cusick stand. This time I have a feeling it could well be Ben or Jerry O'Connor that might take this. Joe Dean is waiting at the edge of the square. With him, keeping him company, is Owen Murphy. Going to be taken by Ben O'Connor. Inside the Waterford 45. Not one of his best either. Brian Phelan battling. Stalemate there. Possession between Waterford and Cork. There's more interesting information. 50% each. Split down the middle. Comes far Stephen Malumphy. Given a bit of space. Throws back the shoulders and gives it long. It's 3 against 3 up here. Can the defenders keep the forwards out? Seamus Prendergast battling hard. Paul Flynn is there. Ball is on the ground. Is it picked off the ground? The Cork players are saying he was lying on it. That's Seamus Prendergast. And I think that's going to be just a simple throw ball on the 20-metre line. Tension around Croke Park as that ball is thrown back and thrown in for Dermot O'Sullivan. Comes for his own Kelly, and Kelly sends it over the bar for his first point from play. It's 2-12 Waterford, 1-12 Cork. Dermot O'Sullivan will be disappointed that he didn't fully deliver this ball down into the other half of the field, but any mistake is punished, and it means a lot to Owen Kelly. Puck out by Donald O'Cusick. Comes down past Patrick Cronin. Tries to make an angle for himself. uses a short grip and floats it in high. Joe Dean is underneath it. So too is Kieran Murphy. Big catch! And that's over the bar by Neil Ronan. A goal and 2 points. And you can see why Gerald McCarthy put him into the team for the start. He's obviously a man in form. He's producing it in training. That's a great catch, great turn, good score.
Yeah, and Pat Cronin coming into the game more and more. You see Cork using him for the puck out. That's a problem they've had over the last few years. But he's, you know, won the last 2 or 3 balls that have come down his wing, and you know Tony Brown and Ken McGrath were dominating up till then.
John Gardner puts up that big left hand. Hard to imagine he's just 23 years of age. He seems to have been around for so long. Wonderful hurler. Gets it down past the corner forward. Battling there on his knees is Neil Ronan. With him is Incarnate. Referee again is going to give a throw ball here. Corkman's still down injured, just there behind Brian Gavin.
Marty, just the last 5 minutes I've noticed Waterford have withdrawn their half-forward line right out the field, out past halfway, and there's acres of space inside, you know, and that's what they're masters at that, you know, kind of drifting out the field and bringing their men out, and you know, any ball into the square with Pendergast is winning plenty of possession, it's going to be dangerous. You could see more goals coming.
Interesting contest here between our head-to-head. Dan Shanahan with a goal and 2. Kieran Murphy is yet to score as the throw ball is put in, and it comes back past Tony Brown. He has the support of Ken McGrath, he needs him, but it's Brown, determined to get into that All-Ireland hurling semi-final of 2007. Drops it in long towards John Milan, picked up by Seamus Prendergast, who's moved into the edge of the square to take up duty against Diarmuid O'Sullivan. John Milan again, Paul Flynn knocked away from him by Shane O'Neill. Comes back outside, Tom Kenny, was he fouled? The referee says yes. Free out to Cork, just outside their own half of the field, or outside their own 45 to be more precise. It's very tense, it's very tight. There was a clear jersey pull there, pulling the dogs. Had to be a free for Tom Kenny. Going to be taken by John Gardner. Good footballer as well with Napiershik. Didn't quite get the distance he required into this. Picked up by Brian Phelan. Tries to lay it back. Succeeds in doing so. Gets it far as Declan Prendergast. Lays it far as Stephen Malumphik. Drives it long before the challenge arrives. Donald Cusick is underneath it, and Seamus Prendergast is as well. And that's going to be a puck out for Dunloe.
If you do without Seamus Prendergast running into you like that, he's not wrong, he was entitled to go for the ball.
2 points between the teams. The biggest margin between the counties in this particular game, 5 points. Waterford enjoyed that advantage in the first half. Pulled on by Dan Shanahan into the space. Coming across is Brian Murphy. So too is Seamus Prendergast. Murphy tries to knock it back first. Diarmuid O'Sullivan picked up instead by John Milan. Tries to get inside Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Thou shalt not pass. The 11th commandment of the Rock. Comes back out first. Sean O'Halpine comes away with it. There's plenty of space. Tom Kenny is saying, keep going, Sean O. He drives it along in towards Neil Ronan. Knocking it forward is Aidan Carney. Picked up by Kieran Murphy. Tries to get inside the cover. Has to go back. Players queuing up. One of them is Neil Ronan. Aidan Carney stops him again. Neil Ronan goes to ground. Waterford says he was looking for the fray. Cork, however, will say that this man was fouled. And let's look at the replay here as the Ballier man tried to get through Aidan Carney and Brian Phelan. Was that a free?
Yeah, I think, you know, the Waterford just tend to tackle a bit high. You know, there was no danger. All they do was hold the ground, but they're bringing that arm up around the neck, and you know, the ref hasn't much choice when they're pulling up around the head. It's always going to be a free in.
Joe Dean has scored 4 times in this quarter-final. The Ardmore man between the posts, organising his defence. This to reduce Waterford's lead to just 1 point, with almost 56 minutes played. Dean, high and over the bar. 5 points for Joe. 114 for Cork. Waterford maintain that 1 point advantage. Cork are warming up. Kevin Hartnett now along the sideline. Played left half back and did very well, in fact. Sean O'Halpine pushing Waterford players out of the way, fairly and squarely. Gets it back for Brian Murphy. Gives it long. What a fantastic catch by Ken McGrath. Going backwards, put his hand up into the air and came down with the Slither like evil stick glued to it. Coming through the centre, it's Owen Kelly. Goes past the 65, has to use the short grip. Floats it in, but it's gone to the right and wide for Waterford's 8th point of this quarter-final. The puck out is quickly taken. Down far is Jerry O'Connor, but the referee won't allow that puck out. And back it goes again. But just watch this. This is well worth watching. As Ken McGrath went up into the clouds and grabbed that Slither. Great play.
We nearly take it for granted now, Marty. He does it so often. He's having another outstanding game today.
Cork are introducing Kevin Hart, and the player that's going to be making way is Jerry O'Connor. So Kevin comes on from Russell Rovers, from the Shanahan area in East Cork. Good young hurler. Referee says that Michael Walsh was fouled, and that's a free for Waterford. If Ken McGrath can do it, so too can the Waterford captain.
And I think that's a big call by Jerry McCarthy. Marty, Jerry O'Connor, you know, a very, very good player. He's capable of scoring 2 or 3 points late in the game, and I certainly wouldn't be taking him off if I had him.
Hurler of the year 2005, taken off by the Cork manager. He wasn't doing that badly at all, actually, Michael.
No, playing on Brick Walsh, one of the top players, very 50-50, both of them doing well, you know, but you're not going to get it all your own way against Brick. But the first ball, of course, he catches over Kevin Hart in there when he came on as well.
Well, to be fair, he may well be injured, but it didn't look at from this particular vantage point. Sideline ball for Cork, far side. And John Gardner again going to take responsibility.
Cork aren't really in the game, Marty. They're only a point down. You're just plugging away, and Waterford haven't put them away, and they could pay the price now. 10 minutes to go. It's going to be a nail-biting finish.
Ball sent in. Good play, however. Once again by Ken McGrath. Flick forward by Brian Phelan. Stephen Malumphey sends it forward. Good ball in past Paul Flynn. Keeping him goal side is Shane O'Neill. But Flynn has the stamina and the ability to get inside the cover and lash it over the bar. A goal and 2 points for Paul Flynn. A good day's work by any wing forward in the business.
Yeah, all in the second half. He's having a great second half. And you know, the turn of pace, Marty, I saw down in Thurles, he got the ball about 60 or 70 yards out and headed for the goal. And I said to myself, where's he going? But he's shown, he looks very, very fit and, you know, lean and is in good shape. And 1-2 in the second half, great return.
Some hard pulling over the far side. There helping out his defence is Owen McGrath, who once played a National Hurling League final at cornerback. It was a short-lived career because he's far better up on the forwards around midfield. Donald O'Cusick lofts it high. He had to. He was under pressure. Coming down here is John Gardner. Picked up by Seamus Prendergast. Floats it in again. It's 2 against 2. Sean O'Halpine tries to get away from Owen Kelly. Has to turn. Donald O'Cusick comes out from his goal to lend assistance. Down for is Tom Kenny. Intercepted well by Michael Walsh. Stradbally, former footballer of the year on Waterford, sending this in high. He was told to send it in over the crossbar, but I'm afraid just to the wrong side of the goalpost. Waterford increased their tally now to double scores. That's 10 wides for Waterford here in Croke Park today. We've reached the 60th minute of the game. 10-6 in terms of wides. 213 to 114 in terms of scores. That ball dropped in. Aidan Carney. Niall Ronan coming through. This is a chance for Kieran Murphy. He never misses! Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields. 23 years of age. He scored 4 goals and 5 points in 4 championship games. He got inside the cover here thanks to the hard work of Neil Ronan. Murphy comes through, and all you can do is take it out of the net.
That was great improvisation, what a finish, you know. But Marty, that's what I was saying there a few minutes ago. Waterford have left Cork in the game, and they're, you know, you can't do that. A great point by Seamus Prendergast, you know, all square now, 10 minutes to go. But Neil Ronan there, we will see it again, brilliant. He got up off the ground like a flash, little flick up, and Kieran Murphy through for a goal. What a finish we're set up for now.
Well, what a response by Waterford as well. Seamus Prendergast, level for the 6th time, and the first time in the second half. As that ball is sent in, but it's well wide. 11 wides off the stick this time of Ken McGrath, who's done almost nothing wrong. But what improvisation by Kieran Murphy. The grip, the way he held the hurley, he knew he was going to be hooked. Very, very skillful, very talented. And it's Waterford that have the possession once more. the Munster champions, the league champions. Level 6 times, as I mentioned earlier. It's an intriguing contest. But remember, Waterford won the league, they won the Munster Championship. Cork have been beaten twice, once by the opposition today and also by Tipperary in a qualifier in Thurles. And is it possible that Cork, despite being beaten twice, could go through to an All-Ireland semi-final? It would be heartbreaking for Waterford. But what drama. If you're a scriptwriter, well then this is the story to be told. We don't know the answers with just about 8 minutes left. This is going to be taken by Ken McGrath, dropping it in to the right. Nobody can get a touch to it. It's wide.
Yeah, that's 2 wides in a row now by Ken. What's that, 12 wides by Waterford today? You know, it's a lot of wides, and they've had their chances. And I just be concerned that Cork really haven't got going, and yet they're level with 8 minutes to go. And you know, if you leave them in the game long enough, they're just punishing. That's why they've won all the All-Irelands they've won.
Scoring chances, 16 out of 29 for Waterford, 16 out of 24 for Cork. Here comes Owen Kelly, floating this one in very high, but it's again wrong side. And inside around the square, Dan Shanahan is telling his own first cousin, will you please let the ball in to me? And I suppose you can do that when it is your first cousin. Puck out, going to be taken by Donal O'Cusick. Back up into the blue skies and glorious sunshine. In it drops. Patrick Cronin goes up for it. Gathered by Niall McCarthy. Lays it off. Where's John Gardner? Hits it. Straight over the Waterford crossbar. It's Gardner's first point in the championship of 2007. And look at that scoreboard on top of your screen there, left corner. It's Cork 2-15. Waterford 2-14. The Leesiders lead by 1. What about this for a Guinness Hurling Championship? Who would have expected Tipperary to lose to Wexford after Wexford got a hammering from Kilkenny in the Leinster final? Maybe not quite as big a surprise as Cork possibly beating Waterford here.
Yeah, who thought Tip would beat Cork? Hurling can be unpredictable. Marty, 5 times from the Cork half-back line midfield from play. Waterford, the same region, no score from the midfielders or from their half-back line. And that's a great return from that area of the field for Cork.
Gerald McCarthy, following in the footsteps of great people like Donal O'Grady. This ball drops down, and John Allen, and that ball is gone wide.
It's a square ball.
Square ball, actually, sorry.
Good quick call there by Brian Gavin again. No, in fairness, doing a good job keeping the game moving and pulling for the frees when he has to.
Clinton Hennessy with the free. Pumps it into the space. 2 Waterford players available. One of them is Dan Shanahan. Floats this one in. Oh, that's a great point. It's not the first time he's done it in a game, and not the first time he's done it in this game. He's out just centimetres in from the sideline, this time at the Cusick stand end, and he puts it over the bar. That's a goal and 3 points for Dan the man.
Yeah, with the year he's having, Marty, he wants to get to an Ireland semi-final. He wants an Ireland medal, and they have 5 minutes now to do it, to kick on.
Level for the 7th time in Croke Park. With just over 5 minutes left, coming through, the centre is Tom Kenny. He has to beat Clinton Hennessy. Hennessy stands his ground, but it's a call for Cork. Neil Ronan. Is that it for the Leesiders? Is it the end of the road for Waterford? Tom Kenny coming through here. A great save by Clinton Hennessy. The rebound comes out to the number 13, and Ronan sneaks in for a winning goal, perhaps.
And what a game he's having, 1-2 as well. You know, great performances all over the field.
Down first, Joe Dean, trying to get inside the cover. Floats it in, that's a good ball. There's a chance of a point here, which is taken superbly by Kevin Hartnett. And suddenly, it's advantage Cork with just less than 5 minutes to go. Fabulous catch by Sean O'Halpine. They're plucking them out of the skies and they're belting them down into the Waterford full back line. Going back is Aidan Carney. Available in the middle is Michael Walsh. John Milan is out there. Goes off the Cork man's hurling. Sideline ball for Waterford. It's a real test for the Daishies. Probably the biggest they've experienced over the last couple of seasons. They've got to respond to the challenge posed by the men from Cork. Time ticking away. Owen McGrath cuts this in. Gone back to help out is Niall McCarthy. He's the centre half forward, remember. Bursting his way forward is Ben O'Connor. These lads have won All-Irelands, but they look like 17-year-olds at the moment, just running all over the pitch. Joe Dean, boosted by the confidence by that Neil Ronan goal, knocked away by the Waterford man. That's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Linesman Dickie Murphy, referee yesterday, of course, in the other quarter-final between Galway and Kilkenny. And Gerald McCarthy rightly will be telling everybody to keep calm now. Don't rush anything, because with a 4-point advantage, it's certainly in their best interest. Has it slipped away for Justin McCarthy and for Waterford? After an incredible season, winning the National Hurling League, winning the Munster Championship, is Donal Logue and Diarmuid O'Sullivan heading for another All-Ireland semi-final? This is going to be taken by Ben O'Connor. Cutting this in, it's a dangerous ball. Clinton Hennessy calls for it, he drops it, comes out far as Owen Murphy. Blocked by Joe Dean. Puck out for Waterford. 2.5 minutes left approximately, even less. They're 4 points down. Can Justin McCarthy make a switch that would make a difference at this stage? The puck out is a long one. Waterford need possession. John Milan tries to come away with it. Stopped in the tracks by Brian Murphy. Comes out towards the midfield area. Where they're waiting for it is Tony Brown. Dropping this one in. They need a goal. They need Big Dan. Breaks outside. Fires Paul Flynn. He can score goals. Hits a shot. Oh, what a save. What a save. What a goal. Stephen Malumphey. Incredible. Waterford are back. But what a magnificent save by Donal Cusick. But what a strike by Paul Flynn. But watch, Stephen Malumphey, he was there to tap it home. Was he in the square? That's the question.
Don't think so, Marty. I think he came in after the shot. Beautiful sidestep by Flynn, a rocket of a shot. And, you know, we often say a draw is a fair result. I don't think Waterford deserved to lose today. You know, they really had plenty of chances, didn't put Cork away.
Waterford are thinking about introducing a substitute. This is going to be delay matters, but Waterford will want to get that ball in. They've just about a minute left to try and get an equaliser. There will be additional time, but not much. They need possession, and who has it but a Waterford man? Backfires Tony Brown. Only gets it as far as Kevin Hart. Needs to deliver it long into space. 2 Waterford players go up for it. One of them is McGrath. Can they get an equaliser and force this All-Ireland quarter-final to a replay? The drama is tangible. The
Martin,
tension is unbearable.
Paul Flynn 1-2, Malumphey 1-2, Shanahan 1-3, Neil Ronan 2-2. Great performances all over the field.
Ken McGrath facing the breeze and the sun. He drops it. He's swinging to the right. They need to keep it in. Dan Shanahan fails to touch it. 1 minute of additional time to be added on. And we're about, what, 15 seconds from full time. A minute and 10 seconds for Waterford to stay in the championship of 2007. A draw probably would be a fair result, but these people can hardly look. It's a pulsating, incredible contest. And it's Waterford that have possession. Here's the Waterford captain, Michael Walsh, floating it into the space. Waterford have it once more. They have to try and work a free or else drop it in. The block down comes from Kevin Hart. Owen McGrath is there for Waterford. They're in the middle of the field. Here it comes in long. Here is Owen McGrath inside. There's a chance here for Waterford. He has to go inside. He's inside the cover. He's going to goal. Brought down. Comes here down Shanahan again. Blocked again on the goal line. Donal Cusick is there. And the referee, what's he going to do here? He's indicating that there's a free, but who's it for?
Well, if he picked it off the ground, it's going to be a free in. We can't see from here. He was just, why didn't McGrath tip it over the bar? You know, point in it. Did brilliantly, and a great save by Donal Logue. What a save.
That's 2 fantastic saves. And again,
what happened here now? He leaned over the ball. I think it's going to be a throw in. Like, that's technically it's a free if you lie in the ball, but most referees throw in the ball when, you know, it happens 3 or 4 times.
Donal Cusick, I think, Michael, that interrupting was incensed. I have a funny feeling it could well be a throw ball or it could well be a free. But Sean Oak, as you can see, is giving him a tap on the back. And in fact, he is giving a free in. This to equalise. But I've never quite seen an end to a game like this, because Owen McGrath, it was such courage really to go for goal, and maybe
The easy thing was to take the point.
Absolutely.
He would have been a hero if he scored.
Here it is, over the bar, sides level. And to be fair, neither Waterford nor Cork deserve to lose this game. It might be a cliche, but honestly, it really is quite true.
Certainly Waterford, you know, they'd be kicking themselves forever with all the wides they had, and they didn't put Cork away.
Brian Gavin, the referee from Clara, blows the full-time whistle. 72,426 people, and I can promise you at this moment, nobody has left the ground. Donlow, Cusick and the Cork players are protesting over that final decision that gave the free to Waterford, and Gerald McCarthy is incensed as well. Photographs being taken for tomorrow's newspapers, and Gerald McCarthy is a very calm and timid man, indeed a gentleman, and it's seldom I've ever seen him lose his cool. He congratulates sportingly Dan Shanahan, but to be fair, from a neutral perspective, no team really deserved to lose this game.
Yeah, it's a pity it ended in that controversy. You know, you'd see it during the game 4 or 5 times. You know, a player falls over a ball and the refs normally throw it in that situation. Technically it is a free if you fall over the ball in my book, but a very, you know, a big call at the end of a game, and Cork are mad about it, but at the end of the day I think a draw is fair.
The full-time score here in Croke Park: Waterford 3 goals and 16 points, Cork 316.